Hey guys, it's Kirby from Blue Lust. This is a follow-up video to the one I made about the Nintendo Switch 2 and the insane prices that Nintendo's trying to sell it for. And I just wanted to get into the topic of gaming prices in general. So, they have gone absolutely ridiculous. I mean, with a mixture of like subscription services, microtransactions, just AAA games just increasing price in general has been freaking awful. I mean, not even half a decade ago they went up from like $60 to 70, which is already ridiculous. Um, I mean, it's like people are barely able to afford rent. They're living paycheck to paycheck, myself included among them. And companies are expecting us to drop every penny we get on these damn games. And I see people spend bukus of money on just useless, useless stuff that should just be like in-game unlockables. Like, back in like Call of Duty, or no, not even Call of Duty. What was I trying to say? But like CS:GO. Okay, CS:GO. I know someone from a Discord server. Speaking of which, join Discord down below. Who spends hundreds of bucks almost daily in CS:GO loot boxes, which, I mean, that's just gambling. Loot boxes are literally just gambling. The EU has like whole like things against it right now because of how scummy it is. I mean, it is someone who's played trading card games for years, loot boxes, they definitely hit that, like, collectibles, gotta get 'em itch that, like, trading card games give. And, it's just, it's created to get you hooked, which is, it's scummy. It's scummy. It's almost as scummy as selling, like, a, AAA game for, like, $80 digitally, 90 for the physical release. I'm looking at you, Mario Kart World. If there was a reason I wasn't getting the Nintendo Switch 2, it is just sheer up the pricing. Like, the Nintendo Switch 1, sure, I might get one once Switch 2 comes out, price drops, and I might get it, like, homebrewed. Run my own programs on there, run some emulators or something. Yeah, have some fun with it. But, that's not going to be until the Switch is, last gen's console, or even, maybe even one or two after that, because, darn is it expensive. I can barely afford playing outside of my, like, 3DS and PC. Like, and like, if you're looking to get into gaming for a bit cheaper, I do not recommend the Nintendo Switch 2 still. I cannot recommend it, not in good faith to anyone. But I can recommend getting like a pre-built gaming PC. They sell them for, I think they got some for like 700-800, which granted's a few bucks more than a Switch 2, but you get so much more. You get a way wider variety of games. And I'm not just talking like paid games. I'm talking like free stuff. You've got websites like itch.io, you've got Steam, you've got the Epic Game Store, as much as I hate it, gives like a free game away a week. So, I mean, there's definitely options out there for PC gamers. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure the Switch 2 will have a few free-to-plays filled with microtransactions. And just overall, I don't know, it just feels like it's going to be full of slop. And, it's like, there's a lot of cheaper options. There's a lot of better options. I mean, heck, I'd recommend a PlayStation 5 over a Switch 2. And I can't recommend a PlayStation past the PlayStation 4, to be perfectly honest with you. Especially when most PS4 games have like enhanced versions on the PS5 where you can use the same disc between both. So if you ever do upgrade, like your game library doesn't get lost. I mean, that's one of the big things. And yes, I know the Nintendo Switch 2 is supposed to be backwards compatible with everything except for like Labo, which makes sense. But I don't know. I think it's just it feels just like a fancier Switch OLED at the end of the day. Like it doesn't. Sure, the Zelda gameplay they showed off looked fine, but you could 100% recreate that in Yuzu with minimal effort. Now I'm not saying pirate games. I'm saying, back up your own ROM dumps of them and, do it legally. But I'm just saying, there's options to play these games that, aren't just buying the slot machine, getting nickel and dime to oblivion, paying like $80 for a full price game, when in all honesty Mario Kart Tour, or not Tour, but Mario Kart 8, Mario Kart 7 are both good. They are both solid entries into the series, some of the best. Personally, I prefer Mario Kart 7 over Mario Kart 8. I like the CTGP 7 mod, which is Custom Track Grand Prix. A lot of you guys might know that term from Mario Kart Wii. I know Poofessor and TW, whatever his name is, also do a lot on those games. And Mario Kart 7 CTGP is pretty much like the spiritual successor to that. I think the tracks are a little bit better. I think, the fact that you can pump in like your own character models. Like if you go to like Game Banana, you can actually download character packs. Like I have the Nintendo 64 version of Princess Daisy as one of my driver options, because Princess Daisy's best character to play as in any Mario game when it's available. But I mean, and it's like the 3DS. I'm not gonna say to go pirate, but I am gonna say there's like ways to get games. I mean, if you just do a Google search, they have like there's storefronts, not storefronts, more like download lists on just built into programs for the 3DS from homebrewers that will get you to cheap game or free games. And it's like, emulating. I ain't gonna say to go emulate like retro games that aren't sold anymore. But I'm gonna ask, do they affect the company? Are they selling them? No. What's the moral panic here? It also annoys me that people think that the cheapest budget option, emulation, is illegal, and it 100% isn't. Pirating games technically is. As for like just backing up your own games and playing them in higher resolutions, making them look better, making them look like they're running on a Switch too, is completely legal. Not to mention, going back on microtransactions, you got stuff like Bethesda that started with like the horse armor for $2 on Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. It was bad. It was bad because everyone bought it because, $2, oh cool, some horse armor, and people didn't understand what it would become. Now we get mad at Ultimate Team or the literal online slot machines going on, and it's like, why was this necessary? Did I just paid $70 for this game? Why are you asking me to put in another $20? And it's like they're putting like they're making games that you paid for incomplete and they're demanding more money. They're also like being doing like this early access stuff, which not like Steam early access, but like you pay an extra like 20-30 bucks and you get the game what 2-3 days early. I mean that just doesn't sound worth it. I mean I'm not telling you how to spend your money, but ugh, that's gross. I'd rather just wait. What are you, just some big YouTuber and you have to get it out. You gotta get the video out before everyone else, Batman. I mean, it's just dumb. I mean, it's and it's not like I didn't want to buy the early access for Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, but it's like I looked at it and it's just like, no, that's not worth it. Oh, I don't want to pay 20 bucks to 30 bucks to play a more buggy version of the game that's coming out in literally 2-3 days. No, God no. No, I waited until it came out. I downloaded it because apparently Steam doesn't let you download it early. Lame. And, I ran it day one. Not day zero, not day -1. I just ran it day one. And it played good enough. And it played great. And it's probably still Game of the Year for last year. Hell, possibly even this year. Looking at the releases, about the only thing that looks anywhere near interesting is the remake of Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion that Bethesda said should be this year. And it's like, when, new games are just so expensive and just so uninteresting. It's sad when, your most hyped game is a game from like 13 years ago? Like, ooh, that's not even 13 years ago. What? Skyrim was, oh god, it's 2025. Yeah, Oblivion was like 2000, so like 19 years ago, 18 years ago. Yeah. That's wild. But people are still like dropping, and it's like people are just dropping like bukus of money on like these loot boxes. You got like Counter-Strike, which is really bad about it. The Overwatch, of course. I don't even have to say that one. And even in the like kids games like Roblox, I've seen like it's just money pits. It's all it is. It's just transaction simulators. Which I don't know about you, but I want to get game for my buck, not just skin. No, I want like gameplay. I want features. I want to get the game. I want to have fun. I don't want to be paying like, exorbitant amounts just for the chance for, I don't know, blue and pink gun skin. And I don't know, this is more of a ramble than anything, and it's true, and it's like, look at the retro market. The retro market's awful. You get copies of, like, sealed copies of Mario 64 that are PSA graded in this plastic shell that, are never going to be played. That people are dropping, like, hundreds of thousands of dollars on. Like, what the hell? And collectors get this huge superiority complex. And, of course, you get a few people who are still down to earth, like, of course, Scott the Woz and whatnot. A lot of these people will be like, oh, if you're not playing it on the official hardware, then you're obviously not getting the real experience. And it's just like, bro, I get just the same experience playing Pokemon Leaf Green on my Nintendo 3DS as I would playing it on a Game Boy Advanced. Or like, running it through the Xbox on dev mode. You know, that's the same experience as putting it in the GameCube player. Like, the intended experience isn't as tight as these people like to say. Now, sure, something like the Virtual Boy, I can 100% say, yeah, there's definitely a difference in how it's made, emulating it versus, shoving your head into the blinding crimson box. But it's like, honestly, I think, something like that, it's better just to play it on a regular old computer screen. It's less painful on the eyes. And then there was games like Little Samson, which had a small release window. Actual good game, though. Like, 100%. Can't recommend it enough. I'm sure if you did a quick Google search, you'd be able to find a way to play it. But if you look at, like, the eBay prices for it, it's always been, like, in the thousands. It's always been ridiculous. And it's like, why do these games need such a high entry price? Like, and I mean, I'm not saying all retro games. I mean, go look at any old yearly sports release. Oh god, yearly releases are another thing that are nickel and diming the hell out of us. Like, what's the difference between Madden 22 and 23? Other than, poor, the late John Madden's poor, face being all over it. I mean, there's no real gameplay difference. If anything, it feels like a worse experience. And like being on PC, we were we were behind on the next gen version since like, God, what, 21, 22? And we didn't get next gen Madden until 24 after they got rid of all the next gen stat tracking. Like, it's just insulting, especially to PC players. I notice these gaming companies really like to go after the PC crowd and like just make things worse for them. And I think a lot of that is because PC players are genuinely smarter than a lot of console players. They look to go out for better deals. They're more patient. They're willing to wait. I'm not bashing anyone who plays on console. Don't get me wrong, but like money wise, I can see a PC player that isn't like a Counter-Strike or Call of Duty player, that burns up microtransactions from Hades. I could see them, being a lot more patient, waiting to get a game for when it hits sale price. I mean, I find myself doing that because Steam's a great option to get games at a lower price. But no, and this is a really broken and unhinged rant. But no. I'm just getting on the point that, it feels like every angle you look at it, gaming companies don't see, consumers or gamers. They see just walking money bags. And they're trying to think, oh, how can we nickel and dime the last 2 cents out of, Steve from accounting. And, I don't know, it gets me irked. Because, like, my thoughts on the Switch 2 remain the same. Don't freaking buy it. It's not worth it. But yeah, if you like that, if you guys have any opinions, please let me know. I want to talk with you. I want to discuss with you. And if you liked this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs down. It's all about engagement, baby. And leave, I'll see you guys next time. I'm sorry this was such an unhinged rant. This was just me being annoyed at just money, especially in this economy. Anyways, I think I have went off the rails enough. I will talk to you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.